Hello and welcome to Marketing Buzzword TV, Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30 minutes awesome package that comprises brand news, brand focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. I am Oluwabukola Omoni. Stay tuned.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin Marketing Edge on TV with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and on the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. Now on brand news. The Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ACON, has taken a significant step to uphold the standard of practice in Nigeria's advertising industry by inducting 38 members as fellows. Among them is ACON's Director General, Olale Confadolapo, who joined the prestigious fellowship status. Emmanuel Adjufo, former O1 president, shared that the council received 45 applications with 38 individuals recommended for fellowship. Unfortunately, 7 applicants were unsuccessful. The induction ceremony welcomed distinguished industry personalities like Tunji Adeyinka, Group Managing Director of the Rubicon Group, Chris Ndibe, CEO of Calcon Group, Agama Emesiefa James, Head of Corporate Commissions at Julius Berger Nigeria PLC, Adetu Owosheni, Chairman Group CEO of Ogilvy Nigeria Limited and Algorithm Media Limited, and His Royal Majesty Alayeluwa Oba Dr. Adeoriyomi Oluwasesan Oyebo, amongst others. ACON highlighted that to date, 162 practitioners have been conferred with the fellowship, and the latest 38 will be admitted to the body of fellows during the 2023 National Advertising Conference in December. Still on the apex regulatory body, the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ACON, has revealed that the General Beaters advert, which showcases musician Davido in military attire on certain out-of-home media platforms in the country, will be flagged down. ACON stated that this decision was taken because the advert lacks approval from its Advertising Standards Panel (ASP) and also did not receive authorization from the Nigerian military to use its uniform before being publicly displayed. This was contained in a statement signed by the Director General of ACON, Dr. Olale Confadolapo, titled "Exposure of Unapproved Advert Using Celebrity Wearing a Military General's Uniform by the General Beaters." The regulatory umpire said upon application seeking approval to advertise, ACON's Advertising Standards Panel (ASP) requested the advertising agency to seek for and obtain approval of the Nigerian Military Authority to use its military outfit for the purpose of advertisement. According to the Regulatory Council, neither the authorization of the Nigerian military for the use of its uniform nor the approval of the ASP was obtained before the General Beaters advertisement was exposed. The regulatory authority emphasized that using military or paramilitary uniforms in advertisements is against the law unless formal approval is obtained from the relevant authorities. Following the alleged written claim by the Council of the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria (NIMN), Marketing Edge, Nigeria's foremost marketing media platform, has unequivocally debunked the institute's claims, describing it as false, frivolous, and baseless allegations. It will be recalled that in a recent publication in a national newspaper, NIMN has falsely notified the public that Marketing Edge Limited has been making rating-based claims in their publications across the social media and other media outlets. According to the Council, Marketing Edge's action is in clear breach of the enabling NIMN Act No. 25 of 2003, which empowers the Institute to regulate and control the practice of marketing profession and for matters connected therewith. However, Marketing Edge, in a statement, clearly pointed out that its management and editorial board have never and will never upsell or infringe on the NIMN's power, as every industry rating carried out by the publication is purely based on well-thought-out editorial decision and in tandem with the agenda-setting roles of the media. According to the Group Chief Executive Officer of Marketing Edge and Publisher, Mr. John Ajayi, he said, and I quote, "What we do at Marketing Edge is to continue to authoritatively report news, developments, and happenings in the entire integrated marketing communications industry, which includes advertising, marketing, PR media, out-of-home advertising, and other experiential subsector. As a media group, we carry out market intelligence reports, research and surveys on a regular basis with a view of offering very deep market insights on the Nigerian market and at the global level. In doing this, how do we now begin to infringe on NIMN? Which of the NIMN Act 2003 did we infringe upon in specific terms?" he asked. To start with, the unveiling of Nigeria's top 10 digital marketing professionals for year 2023 and the top 10 marketing managers in Nigeria was based on our meticulous editorial decision and as an industry watchdog with access to avalanche of information and resources. We must also state, without any equivocation, that our tangible claim to authoritative reporting is firmly hinged on our responsibility as the fourth estate of the realm with constitutional protection to carry out our functions without repression. Acting as free agents, we are careful not to infringe on the rights of individuals or organizations, of which NIMN is one, the publisher said. On the Council's claim that Marketing Edge published 20 names of marketing professionals, of which only 3 are certified members of NIMN. The leading publication pointed out that its editorial report, which remains the exclusive opinion of the publication, was based on the fact that all those that were profiled were outstanding marketing professionals doing extraordinarily well in all their great organizations with proven records of result achievements. It was, however, noted that it is not the business of Marketing Edge to begin to make inquiries about who is registered with NIMN or not, as long as the organizations that employed these individuals are satisfied with their employees. Our industry credibility is a hard-earned one. We have worked and are still working to build our equity. We do not need NIMN or any national or sectoral body's authority to write our reports or profile professionals who are gainfully employed in reputable organizations and multinationals. Therefore, we urge the public, Nigeria's marketing community, and stakeholders to ignore the false alarm raised by NIMN, the statement added. That was brand news. Next is Branding Focus right after the break.
How do you add zinc to every meal? My new secret is the Golden Penny Mayonnaise. A deliciously creamy mayonnaise that gives me the freedom to explore and enrich every meal with omega-3 and 6. Spread and enjoy the smooth and creamy qualities that comes with every pack of Golden Penny Mayonnaise.
Golden Penny Mayonnaise. Put a zing on it.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Cookie! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat you guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go, go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Now on branding focus. Over the last 2 years and still counting have been a watershed moment for the tech world as some major innovations such as Meta was launched, with every brand from Apple, Microsoft and Google jumping on the metaverse bandwagon for a slice of the potentially lucrative pie that an immersive 3D internet will bring. Thereafter, OpenAI broke the generative AI mold with the launch of ChatGPT, a new breed of chatbot with an uncanny ability to generate near-perfect human-like text. The fundamental questions and widespread debate within the business and marketing circle is, what do all this mean for the future of business and marketing? More importantly, where should marketers and businesses be edging their bets? What are the potentials of metaverse and AI on brands? When metaverse appeared on the scene, every brand and business wanted in. With its non-fungible tokens, wearables and avatars, it had brands clamoring to offer their audiences an absolutely out-of-this-world experience. It promised an immersive experience where there are avatars and games, wearables and digital tokens, especially to Gen Zs and the millennials who grew up playing online games. Games with rich imagery and fantasy, which makes them the perfect passengers to take on a trip to the metaverse. However, AI is a different ballgame altogether. It has been said that AI will completely transform and drive marketing. Where there is a lot of data and a great need for personalization, AI can help shape better customer experiences and enable better predictability of outcomes. What's more, AI can do wonders with segmentation by splitting customers into various groups based on specific characteristics, gender, age, income level, interest, and a zillion other criteria. It can power the mapping of what will work with whom. In fact, AI can enable brands to connect with millions of prospects with 100 different variations of marketing messages and help them track and measure their effectiveness almost instantly. AI powers creativity with regards to design and content. That was branding focus. Next is industry conversation, where we have discussions with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. My guest today is a marketing guru. She is the head of marketing at Cadbury Nigeria PLC. Join me right after the break.
When great minds meet, great ideas inspire and transform a great nation. Yes, wherever you are, National Advertising Conference is back.
So, join us. Let's share emerging perspectives on how brand narratives are developing talents, inspiring alternatives, and supporting a more creative economy. Theme: Marketing Communication as an enabler of national transformation.
Yes, Abuja will be on standstill from December 6th to 8th, 2023. Venue: International Conference Center, Abuja. Time: 9 a.m. each day.
Register at www.nationaladvertisingconference.com.
National Advertising Conference 2023. Let's engage marketing communications for national transformation.
Turn up, let's turn the nation around.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Many thanks for joining us on Industry Conversation. Today we'll be speaking with the head of marketing for Cadbury Nigeria PLC, MOROLAKE. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, great. So let us start with your assessment of, the Nigerian marketing ecosystem. It's not news that, several companies these days are going into comatose, challenged with the economic pressure. What is your assessment of the current, Nigerian marketing system?
So I think the marketing ecosystem does not operate in isolation of the macro environmental climate. Okay. For any marketeer, whatever strategy, planning, or execution starts first and foremost with the proper context of both the macro and the micro environment. And if you look at the indices in the country today, you'll agree with me that it presents a formidable challenge, both for manufacturers and marketeers, to read the current trends and understand where the opportunities cross-intersect their own strengths as an organization. It's also important to be very mindful of what your barriers are as a marketeer or a business leader in the FMCG or consumer goods space today, and understand how to mitigate against those weaknesses. I remember very clearly that at times like this that are challenging, there are some outliers that are able to leverage, certain cycles or indicators or trends within the space. Take into consideration, for example, COVID-19. Organizations that already had some level of technological integration into their operations, communications, definitely were able to survive the impact of the lockdowns and the implication on running the businesses. We're here in another cycle shaped by economic dynamics in the economic environment and volatility. So I think it's first and foremost an opportunity for marketeers and manufacturers to do some introspection, a proper internal analysis of what opportunities are there in these tough, changing, times, and really understand how to take advantage of certain opportunities. At the same time, being very mindful of threats to costs, the running costs. It's an opportunity for marketers to operate more leanly than ever before. It's an opportunity for marketers and organizations to drive more focus around the right portfolio mix, understand the opportunities with price pack architecture. It's also times for marketers to be closer to consumers more than ever before, and prioritize the key need states that are also more profitable and viable, to be able to meet those needs profitably at scale and with a high degree of meaningfulness.
Okay, great. So apart from all of what you've mentioned, what do you underscore as the challenges faced in FMCG, and how do you think practitioners are confronting those challenges?
I think on a top-line level, the greatest challenge for any organization right now is to stay afloat. Speaking to a couple of colleagues, also understanding the dynamics that organizations like the one I work with faces. I think the biggest question is how to ensure that you're delivering sizable operating income for your investors and your shareholders. At the end of the day, as a marketer or a business leader, you're definitely in business to make profits. So there's a challenge if you're bringing in revenue, as you would see with some of the reported earnings in the past 6 months, with high revenue thresholds, but severely impacted by either the effect of devaluation or rising costs. When it comes to contribution or operating incomes, we then begin to see classic variations. So I think number one, staying true to the promise of delivering profit to stakeholders, shareholders, and investors. Number two, staying true to the promise of our brands to continue to consistently deliver quality products at the right prices and meeting their needs. I think these are the greatest challenges that face manufacturers or business owners today.
Okay, great. So what would you say is the implication of, staying true to the brand and to the consumers?
I think number one, brands at this point in time must strive for salience, right? Typical paradigms of marketing will talk about differentiation. Yes, it's as relevant, but at this point in time, it's brands that stay at top of mind or that are top of mind that eventually get into shopping baskets and get in home.
Correct.
So I think salience is important, and as a marketer, it's understanding the power of driving, number one, physical availability, ensuring that your products are within reach to the consumer at this time. Two, ensuring that your products are available at the most accessible formats. That's optimizing your price pack architecture. Number three, ensuring that you're consistently investing behind mental availability. There comes the opportunities to optimize your MARCOMs, that's your marketing communications mix, your IMC bundle, and your overall proposition to the consumer. I think number three, it's a game about its penetration. It's going to be about penetration in these days to come. Typical school of thought will tell you drive penetration and drive frequency. You'd agree with me, getting into more households, getting into more stores is critical. It's a critical implication of the times that we're in. Number four, costs. Costs to the consumer. Two, your own costs as an organization, must be optimal to survive these challenging times. And I think finally, the promise of convenience, right? Convenience alternatives for the consumer to choose from. The power of variety within reasonable limits. These are critical implications for marketers and business owners to leverage upon, in challenging times such as this. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, so what do you think, what are your learnings? What do you think the learnings IMC practitioners should take away from this period in order to realign, with the new realities of the industry?
So I think you'd find out, number one, that the consumer is king. The consumer is king.
I've heard that before.
With the availability of some substitutes, more affordable substitutes, low-cost alternatives, organizations must understand that consumers will prioritize and rationalize, in times like this. So the question is, how well do we know our consumers? How equitably are we meeting their needs? What is the bond and the relationship as a brand that we're driving to ensure that we're connecting, we're engaging with them, we're top of mind? And when we talk about their needs, it's not just the product needs, it's also their societal needs. You'd ask me, how do I invest? Are we talking about CSR? No, right? We're talking about societal marketing. That means the ability to do business, build brands, but at the same time, not doing it at the expense of common social good. So it's important that brands are more social leaning. I think building brand love is a priority. Sometimes, even in challenging times, consumers will choose the brands that they genuinely love, right? Even when they rationalize, there is a portion or a share of their pockets that they will keep for the brands that make some meaning to them.
That's correct.
Right? And I think the last word is agility over perfection. There is hardly any time to be perfect. You're going to make plans, and those plans will change. It could change per second. I think it's the ability to have a future-proof intelligence system that allows you continuously reiterate your previous assumptions, but at the same time, design them to address your current needs as they are in flux. So we are operating literally in a state of flux. Yes, it is challenging. Yes, it is heart-wrenching, but it's also exciting, right? Because leading as a business leader, as a marketer in times like this, it's easy when things are calm, right? But I think the greatest challenge of leadership is actually leading in a state of crisis or chaos. Thank you.
Okay, great. So talking about the consumer being king and, having that share of their pocket, they reserve for their favorite brand. Do you expect to see a surge, in the Christmas season compared to other months?
It's quite interesting. If you had asked me this question last year, I would say definitely it's been arranged. Shopping lists are in place. But when you speak to a couple of consumers today, some do not even know we're in December, right? Or December is upon us. I think a lot of us are trying to survive the year, aren't we? Right? But I think it's also important to know what the priorities are, right? And then ensuring that our brands get into those priority moments. If you have a brand that is indulgent, there's some days you wouldn't want to miss your shelf displays. If you're a staple food, then this is the time to speak to your consumers about why you matter, about why you should be their priority, and about why you're with them, right? And helping them either breathe better, be better, or just survive in this tough period. I think even how you communicate as a brand this Christmas will be more important than ever before.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
And that's the much we can take on this week's episode of Marketing Edge on TV. Join us sometime next week for the concluding part of our conversation with MOROLAKE or EMOKPAIRE. Bye for now.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, January 15, 1929. The son of a Baptist minister, King received a doctorate degree in theology and in 1955 helped organize the first major protest of the African American civil rights movement, the successful Montgomery bus boycott. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. He advocated civil disobedience and nonviolent opposition against segregation in the South, influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. The peaceful protests he led throughout the American South were often met with violence. Nonetheless, Dr. King and his supporters were persistent and the movement gained momentum. Dr. King was a powerful orator. He appealed to Christian and American ideals and won growing support from the federal government and Northern White. In 1963, Bayard Rustin and A. Philip Randolph led the massive march on Washington for jobs and freedom. The event's grand finale was King's famous I Have a Dream speech. 250,000 people gathered outside the Lincoln Memorial to hear the stirring speech. In 1964, the civil rights movement achieved two of its greatest successes: the ratification of the 24th Amendment, which abolished the poll tax, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibited racial discrimination in employment and education and outlawed racial segregation in public facilities. In the same year, King became the youngest person to win a Nobel Peace Prize. In the late 1960s, King openly criticized U.S. involvement in Vietnam and turned his efforts to winning economic rights for poor Americans. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement and organized a number of peaceful protests as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, including the March on Washington in 1963. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968.
Sales! Embrace the holiday spirit with a shopping extravaganza at the TVC Women's Network First Sales Fair. Join us for an amazing opportunity to explore a wide array of products and services at festive discounts. Discover irresistible offers. Mark your calendar, December 15th to 17th, 2023. Venue, TVC Communications, 1 Continental Drive off CMD Road, Ikosiketu, Lagos. Time, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Immerse yourself in the festive vibe with a shopping spree featuring exciting games, stunning showcases, and live performances. Wrap up your shopping list with unmissable savings. For inquiries, call 0803-284-8509. Join us for an unforgettable holiday shopping adventure. This event is brought to you by TVC Communications.